Hi, I'm Dave from Hectors Smokehouse, and today I'm going to be making share wagyu burnt ends on the Gateway drum smoker. Hi, welcome back to the channel, and if you're a first time viewer, welcome on board. If you enjoy the video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel. Today what I'm going to be doing is going to be making some burnt ends. I've done a couple of videos recently over the last few weeks with regards to using the Gateway drum, and recently I did one where I did a full brisket packet and did it hot and fast on the Gateway drum. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to sort of add on to that, and I'm going to cook exactly the same way as I did previously, doing a brisket hot and fast, but at the end I'm going to split the brisket through the point and the flat while they're still hot, and then I'm going to cube up the point side of it, add some sauce, add a little bit more rub, and turn them into burnt ends. Now there's different ways you can do this. Over the coming weeks, what I will do is I'll do a few more videos as well. So you can do what I'm doing today, which is cooking it as a whole packet and then splitting it afterwards when it's hot. And all I'm going to do for that is put on some cotton gloves and some plastic gloves, and I put my hand through the fat cap and just put my hand straight through there, and then I'll cube it up. Another way you can do that is to actually, while the meat is still raw, is to start to partially separate the point away from the flat. That means you can get more rub around the actual meat of the point. And then in the coming weeks, what I'll be doing is a video where I'm just going to look at separating the point and flat while they're in their raw state, trimming them up, and then cooking them separately. And then separately cooking the point and making burnt ends, and separately cooking the flat. So over the coming weeks, I'll actually do that. So if you want to look at the video where I actually cooked the brisket hot and fast on the Gateway, there should be a link up there at the top now, and you should be able to look at that. And what that goes through is it goes through the whole process of the anatomy of the brisket. It goes through looking at trimming the brisket. It then goes through rubbing on the, putting the rub on the brisket, and then the actual cooking process. So this video is going to start at the end of the last video, and really all that's been done, and all I'm doing this time is taking the brisket off, separating the point and flat, and making the burnt ends. This time I'm doing it a little bit differently as well. I've got some different rubs going on this time. So last time I just did the straightforward salt, pepper and garlic and paprika. This time I've actually used some more commercial rubs. So in this instance I've used some Cosmo Q, and I've done 2 levels of rub on there. One is called Texas Beef and the other one is called Cow Cover. So I'm going to use both of those, and then when I make the burnt ends at the end, I'm going to use some Blues Hog BBQ sauce and a little bit more rub as well to go on there to actually set them off. So hopefully you enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel. So the brisket's just come out, and was around about 6 hours again on the Gateway, and took it off, and it was probably around about that 2.5, 2.6, somewhere around there, and was probing really tender. So this was a totally different rub this time that we actually put on. So it was very different to what we did last time when I was using the salt and pepper. This was using some of the Cosmo Q. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take out the brisket and then separate it by hand. So I'll show you what this is going to look like. So there's the brisket, and you can see the brisket there. And what I'm going to do is, in here you can feel there is a fat layer in there between the flat and the point underneath. So all I'm going to do is very simply with these gloves on. So what I've got is cotton gloves. So I've got cotton gloves on with some plastic hand gloves. I'm just going to put my hand through the middle of there. And what you can see is very easily, it actually separates apart. So what I'm left with is two different parts of the meat. So this one is the flat. So I'm going to put the flat back into some foil and cover up the flat. And then what's left here is the actual brisket itself. So what I'm going to do with this is, you can see here, the brisket's got little bits of fat on there. So I'm just going to take off some of the fat that's on there and tidy this up a little bit, but it's not too bad, to be totally honest. So yeah, so you can see most of that's come off. I'll just move some of that to the side, but this is really, really tender and really soft. And so then what we're going to do is start to cube this up. So this is really thin at this end, so we'll probably going to sort of start here. We're going to go around about 1 inch by 1 inch. So we'll start getting into each of these pieces, and we're going to cut this up. And this is the point end of the actual brisket. So we'll just cut this into cubes and then cut this one down as well into small pieces. And maybe this knife isn't the sharpest knife in the world, but it should be okay. Now, as I said, this is one way of doing it where you've actually cooked the brisket and you've not flattened it out beforehand. And there is other ways of doing this. So you can actually separate the point and the flat. And we're going to do that on another video. But this will just give you a good idea of what this looks like. And the problem with this way is you end up with some fat parts to your point, and then some thin parts as well. So you can see what that looks like. We'll just turn this on the side, and then we'll go through again about 1 inch square on here, and on the other side of there is where you've got more of the bark on the other side of there. So we'll cube that up as well. So you can see all these different pieces, and you can see, you know, already just if you look at that, how tender that is and how it wants to sort of pull apart. So it's already really tender and soft already. And we'll do this part as well because it's going to be tasty. A little bit smaller, not as big. So all we're going to do now is we want to be able to put these into a small pan. We're going to add some sauce, barbecue sauce, and a little bit of some more rub, and then we should be very close to what we need it to be. So I'm going to just try a piece of this as it is. So it's a nice piece there. This is before it's been done. Oh wow, this is before it's even been finished off, and that tastes amazing. Oh, it is moist. It melts in your mouth like little pillows. It's just unbelievably good. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a foil tray. Put all these into a foil tray. And then I'm going to add the sauce and a little bit more rub into there. In fact, I'm going to eat this little piece there as well. Oh my word. That is good. So I'll just move this knife out of the way. And I'll move this cutting board out of the way that I've been using. So just fold that over, and then hopefully, there we go. Just fold that out of the way. So then I'm going to put the tray back so you can see all of the burnt ends in there. I'm going to add some sauce. So this sauce in particular is Blues Hog Traditional. So that's just normal Blues Hog sauce going into there. There we go. So we've got blues hog in there. And then to finish it off, I'm going to use, I've got another different rub, which I'm going to put on there. This is called White Lightning by Boar's Night Out. So I'm going to add some of this onto there as well. And then I'm going to toss these around, give them a good coating of the sauce and of the extra rub that I put in there. So you can see they're all into there, extra sauces and rub. As I say, this isn't how we do them in a competition, but this is for home and this is to have them tasty. So the idea now is that I'll put these back into the smoker. They're around about 275, 300 for about 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Get them to caramelize up and then they're good enough to serve. So I'll be back soon. So there you go. The burnt ends have been on now for about 30 minutes. All we did was we put some BBQ sauce on, put some rub as well. So I think we put some White Lightning on there and some blues hog. Cook them for about another 30 minutes and you can see the results in here. Got a beautiful colour in terms of these, look absolutely beautiful. So what we'll do is we'll have a go. We'll try one of these and see what it's like with the actual sauce on, if they're not too hot. You can see here, they're very hot actually. They're pull apart, you know, they just fall apart. Oh my word. They're amazing. This is a real easy way of doing them. You're just cooking a full pack of brisket the normal way, separating it with your hand and then cubing up. Nothing tidy, nothing fantastic, you know, just cube it up, put the rub on, put some sauce on and finish it off and get it to tack. Apart from that, it's very simple. The other video I'll do, which is in a couple of weeks' time, I'll show you another video where I actually separate the point and flat, and they'll end up being a lot more uniform and a lot more flatter because I'll actually flatten the meat beforehand and butterfly the big end of the point out. So we'll give these a go if they're not too hot. Oh my word, oh, very hot. But that just melted in my mouth. The outside where the bark is, you get like a stringy, jerky type feeling, and which is amazing. And then it's just like a soft marshmallow inside. It's unbelievable. It must be the best type of barbecue you can get. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. It was a very short one this time. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel and I'll see you on the next video.